Good day, everybody. I wanted to pop on here and speak a little bit about this time of the year. Find out what I wanted to do. I wanted to speak about the sound of Om, because the sound of Om, and you hear many people chanting it, the sound of Om is a sound that has four elements. One is the inhale, that's creation. The pause is sustenance. The exhale is dissolution. And the pause after that is recreation. And isn't that really poignant for this time of the year? So one of my teachers, who is really very cool, Alan Finger, he really spoke about how things truly are as they are. Coming from South Africa, his father was a yogi, and he learned all about that from his dad, who was from South Africa and hosted so many of the prominent yoga, I guess, pioneers at the time. And then they settled in Encinitas, California. And then Alan came to New York and he opened up Ishta Yoga. I might not have the chronology proper, but Alan had Ishta Yoga, and he created things that was called Yoga Zone. And that's where we met. And what I loved is that it really highlighted my feeling about biophilia and how the world works in such cycles and pulsations in nature. So one of the things that Alan was saying, because it's in cycles, we have this way that we can see everything as it is, whether it's the seasons, whether it's relationships, everything has a season. And in the season of our life, things do tend to shift. So we have the seasons, like the seasons, they come and they go, they flow, the tides ebb and flow, and all these things shift and change. And at some point, it's the earth and the seasons creating what's called homeostasis. It's how do we find that place in the middle? Our bodies and nature is always searching for homeostasis. It's always looking for what can we do to make life different. Getting very comfortable in front of this camera that I'm moving my chair with you. It seems a little bit unprofessional, right? But we don't have to judge it. So there's always a beginning, middle, and an end. And even my brother, who is a physician and a world-renowned vascular medicine doctor, a surgeon, he'll say that, when you bring up a symptom complex, he'll say, you know what? We don't know what that is right now, because every story has a beginning, middle, and an end. So right now we may not know what that ending of the story is, but we do know the beginning. Eventually things will become revealed to us. But we have this, there's these little grantis, or these knots that we go through, and they're everywhere, in the way that we look at our life, and they keep us bound to this plane of existence. So what we want to do is, through yoga, is that we kind of come out of that place of being like, here we are in this plane of existence, but what else can we tap into our eternal essence? Because I think that's what home is really all about. We have this mortal body, this embodied body, for such a short amount of time, and in the scope of time, if there's even space-time. So we want to experience these energies through this vibration that we called Om. And it's represented by A, U, and then there's the Tariya, which is that little thing on top. And you can see it up there. Let me show you. Is that word right at the top. It's that. So that's sun salutation. So that little flourish at the top is called the Tariya, and that's of the beyond of the beyond. So we can experience these cycles through the sound of Om. That's why many people you hear chant Om. Sometimes you can even have a whole room, like hundreds of people, really chanting the sound of Om. And let's suppose every time you do the cycle, you're on your own time. The whole room of hundreds, if not thousands of people are chanting the sound, and it's all happening at different times. No one's like, everybody now say but it creates this primordial sound of Om. So this first sound represents this creation. It's usually that first sound that a baby makes when it utters itself. It's like, ah. And we chant this, we can feel that ah sound resonating within ourselves. And if you could actually feel it, if you could even breathe it in, it's like, ah. And that's the unconscious and the energy of Brahma or slash the creator. A side note is I gave birth at home, and one of the chants was when you feeling bringing the energy down, you don't want to be like, ah. It's like, oh, you're going down to the depths of the cavernous part of the pelvis to really release and dance with the baby as it's making its way through the birth canal. So that ah is the first sound of our unconscious and this energy of Brahma. The second sound is ooh, which is almost like, again, of the subconscious. It represents our subconscious. Ah is the unconscious, subconscious right beneath the consciousness. And it's symbolized through Rudra. Rudra is like that roaring iconographic figure of like howling on some level. And it's the deity of sustenance. And that this we could feel at the heart center, which relates to our relationships to everybody, to everything within ourselves and the everyday connections that we go through in life. The third sound of Om is and that represents Shiva conscious or godlike consciousness. It's the destruction and letting go. So is felt at the crown. So it's ah, base, ooh at the heart, at the crown of the head. And that's where we experience the transcendence of from one state of consciousness into this realm of super consciousness. And then there's the silence, that's Tariya, that's the quietude. That's right before recreation, or that is recreation, right before creation. So chanting Om with these cycles of creation, sustenance, and destruction is basically the ultimate of transcendence that helps us move through these cycles all of our own accord with grace, harmony, I'll even say a sense of humility. For me, it opens up to something much larger than just a technology. It helps me tap into the essence of why I'm even here, why my soul essence is inside this body in this time and space. So we can kind of, I have a picture of it, that's why I keep looking up and I'll show it to you. So I'll do this. We do actually chant it so it's ah. Silence. Ah. Ooh. And it's really, if you're in a group or with a family, it's a nice thing to do, and you attune yourself to each other's voice. So when I'll teach a class, it's not just me being the leader and I'm louder than everybody. I'll go slow and then I give everybody else a chance to attune to this sound. Like being in a good relationship, it's like communicating, it's stepping in, it's listening, it's having trust. So if I go, I may start higher. Ah. So I give everyone else a chance. So it develops a sense of deep sensitivity and a way to step into your becomingness on every level. We use what we have to make life, to make art. It's all here. It's all part of us. Okay. Have a beautiful day, evening, middle of the night, and tap into what you already have and who you already are to step into the cycle of wherever that may be for you now. Tap into that within yourself and see, feel, taste, touch the sound of Om everywhere. Thank you. And I will see you another time.